Hey yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Kassandra, and today we're doing a Yin Yoga practice which does not utilize any props. So I already have a Yin Yoga without props class on my channel, and you guys really love that one and have asked me to create some more that don't need anything. I know if you're traveling, you might not have access to your blocks and your straps and your bolsters, and sometimes you just don't have it even around the house and you still want to do a Yin Yoga practice. I've certainly been there. So we're gonna go through some other Yin Yoga poses that you can do that don't really need anything else. So all you need is your mat, and honestly, even that is pretty optional. You could do Yin Yoga directly on the floor, that works as well. So let's go ahead and begin. Our first asana is going to be butterfly pose. So butterfly pose, soles of the feet come together to touch, knees fall apart. And now I don't quite enjoy having my heels close to the groin. It feels not that great for my lower back. So I like to keep quite a bit of distance between my heels and the inner groin, but you can adjust however works for you normally at home. So lifting up through the chin and chest, start to hinge and tilt forward from the pelvis, walking your hands out in front of you, rounding your spine and just letting yourself soften into the shape. So normally with props, I would be telling you to put a block or two either underneath the knees or underneath the forehead, but it's not mandatory. You don't really need props in this one. You can let gravity do the work for you. So even if flexibility was limited, you could just let your head dangle and let gravity draw you deeper into the pose the longer you hold it. And if you are new to the practice of Yin Yoga, we do hold poses for a few minutes, usually 3 to 5 minutes per posture. This is meant to be a passive practice, meaning there is no muscular engagement. We want to relax our bodies as much as possible. So finding your edge and holding the pose. Take a few deep breaths once you're in the shape that works for you. And letting the tension melt away. Notice if your upper body is tensing up in any way. Can you relax your shoulders further? From this forward fold, start to push your hands into the ground and very slowly lift up inch by inch. Continue to breathe as you do so, unrolling and uncurling the spine. And from here, I like to do a little just counter stretch or counter movement here. Bringing the feet wide, just let your knees drop from side to side in a windshield wiper motion. Just nice and slow. So our next asana is one of my all-time favorite ones. It's called deer pose. And just so you're able to see it better, I'll start with the left leg first. So you'll want to bring your left shin parallel to the front of your mat. And then your right shin is parallel and in line with the long side of your mat. So both knees are bent at a 90-degree angle. With the feet flexed to help protect the knee, there's a few different ways that you can do this. So some people prefer to do deer pose by folding forward over that left thigh, and this will give you a deeper stretch into the left hip. I like to focus on internal hip rotation. So think of pushing that right hip down and lean your hands back behind you. So for me, this is quite tight. I feel a very, very intense pull and stretch into the glute as well as through the inner groin. You might need to adjust a little bit your stance until you find the shape that works the best for you. And if you want to, you can even lower down onto your forearms. I just find that a little bit less comfortable for my neck, so I'd rather just stay up high onto the palms. This is one of the few yin yoga poses, or even yoga poses in general, that includes internal hip rotation. We really don't have a lot of that in yoga, and that's, I think, one of the biggest imbalances we have in our practices. There's too much external rotation, almost no internal rotation. So this is a great pose to do on a regular basis if you practice a lot of yoga. you were down on your forearms, lift back up onto the palms, and we'll very slowly start to lift back up and unwind, making our way over to the other side. So this time your right shin would be parallel and in line with the front of your mat. Right knee is in line with the right hip. And then I'm bringing my left shin in line with the long edge of my mat. Left knee and left hip in one long line. So again, you might choose to fold forward over your right thigh and over your right hip, or you can bring your hands back behind you and work on pushing that left hip down and leaning your weight back until you get that nice deep stretch through the inner left thigh and maybe a little bit to the outside of the glute. So make as many little adjustments as you need here until you can get semi-comfortable in the pose. Let's lift back up. We're going to make our way down on our backs. So lowering down here, bring your right knee into your belly and extend your left leg straight out to the ground. And we'll take a twist from here. So you'll bring your right knee across your body to the left, and you can reach your right arm out to the side in the shape of a T. So this is option one. If you'd like to go deeper into this pose, you can straighten your right leg, trying to drop the foot down to the mat, and you can slide your left hand down towards either your right thigh, your right shin. You might even be able to grab the ankle or to grab the toe. So this is reclining leg stretch 3, but remember, if it's too much, you can just keep your knee bent. Otherwise, right leg is straight to get deep into the IT band. If you had your right leg straight, bend that knee once more and roll onto your back. You might need to move your hips a little bit over to the left. And we'll go and do that pose on the other side. So this time, right leg straightens out to the floor. You can bring your left knee into your belly. And we'll carry it over into a twist. So left knee to the right. And the left knee can either stay bent with your left arm extending out, or you can straighten your left leg and maybe hold on to the thigh or down onto the calf. And you'll most likely feel that one side is probably a little tighter than the other. It's pretty normal. Most people have that. So readjust however you need to. Bend into your left knee. Roll onto your back once more. And let's make our way into banana pose. A really wonderful lateral side body stretch. So with your knees bent and your feet flat on the ground, you can lift your hips up and just shift them over to the right side of your mat, and then bring your shoulders and your head over to the left. So we're trying to make a crescent banana shape with the body. As you extend your legs, see if you can walk your heels a little bit more to the left. I like to reach the arms up overhead and hold on to the elbows or the forearms. And as you go deeper into this pose, you'll probably notice that your right hip wants to lift off the ground. Try to keep it pushing down to the mat, and then you can even cross your right ankle over your left one to deepen the intensity of this pose. So we're looking for a nice stretch from the right shoulder, down the side of the ribs, into the right hip, and down the leg. And get as comfortable as you can here, and then find your breath. If you had your right ankle crossed over the left one, release this. And you can bend your knees, feet flat to the ground, and we'll ease to the other side. So bring your hips over to the left, shoulders and head over to the right. Keep both hip bones facing up to the sky as you straighten your legs and bring your heels over towards the right side and right corner of your mat, maybe hooking and crossing the left ankle over top. Imagine you can breathe directly into the left side of your waist, creating even more length here and even more space. Let's uncross the ankles. And before we make our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose, we'll take a happy baby. So pulling the knees into the belly, keep your knees fairly wide. So this is option one, is to just work on the pose from here. If you'd like to go further, you can lift the feet up and either catch a hold of the big toes or the soles of the feet or even the ankles. I like to keep the elbows to the inside of the legs to help press and push them open. Ground your tailbone to the ground and try to drag and pull the feet down and pulling the thighs down. The entire length of your spine should be leveled and in contact with the floor, except the back of your neck. But otherwise, you want everything touching. So we're not lifting the hips off the ground. If that's happening, do the variation where you're just holding onto the knees without lifting the feet up to the sky. And let's release the hold of the feet. Gently pull the knees in together just to recalibrate for a moment. Might feel good to bring the knees away from the body, then pull them back in gently. And we'll make our way into Shavasana, our final resting pose. Take up space with your arms and your legs. Turn your palms to face up to the sky. And soften here. Noticing how you feel now as opposed to when you first stepped onto your mat. Begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, reawakening your body. Extend your arms up overhead, take a great big stretch. And we can roll to the side. Come on up with the help of your arms. And just take a seat here in any way that is comfortable to you. Hands come together at the front of the heart. Take a moment to really thank yourself for making this time to get on your mat and practice and do something for yourself that is so nurturing. We'll close our practice with a chant of Om one time. Inhale to chant. Breath in. Namaste. Thank you so much, yogis, for doing this Yin Yoga practice that does not need props. I would love to know what you thought. And if you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. I put out new classes every single week. I have hundreds by now that you can browse through. And if you enjoyed this Yin Yoga class that doesn't use any props, I have another one on my channel. I'll link it down below in the description box if you want to give it a try. And I can probably come up with a few other Yin Yoga practices that don't need props. So if you would like to see more of this here on my channel, just leave me a comment below and let me know, and I'll see if I can film some more. Thank you all so much, and I'll practice again with you soon.